Welcome to Conversations with Atlanta's Movers and Shakers. I am your host, Mandisa Johnson. Today, we are having a conversation with Shellie Schmals. Hi,
Hi
Shellie.
there.
How are you today?
Hi, Lisa. I'm doing great. It is still sunny outside. It's not raining. It's a beautiful Wednesday. Lots of good stuff going on.
Well, I'm glad you could join us. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here in the Atlanta film and TV community?
Sure. I have been working in the Atlanta entertainment industry now, I would say for almost 15 years, starting off with working in the improv and comedy community, producing shows, doing burlesque, and then getting into the film world starting in around 2013, working with Atlanta Jewish Film Festival. And from there, that kind of opened up my network to working with a lot of different of the volunteer organizations in town. I'm the vice president of programming for Women in Film and Television Atlanta. I'm the membership chair for the Georgia Production Partnership, as well as I am on the board for the for Film Festival Alliance, which is an organization that is globally for all the different film festivals. And so on top of that, my career is actually, it was really awesome. I work for this amazing company called Stage 32. It is the world's largest platform for networking and education for the entertainment industry. We have about 1 million members. I'm director of community. And it's just a joy to see a very positive space in the social realm and professional realm for entertainment professionals to come together, share resources, collaborate on projects, learn new skills, be able to be able to really have a direct connection to the decision makers in the entertainment industry. And so those are really our three pillars of Stage 32: our community, education, and our marketplace. And I've been there since the beginning of June, and it's been amazing. I've also had the opportunity. I am the creative director over at the Spring Cinema and Tap House.
Wow.
So working on like film events and being able to infuse art and creativity into an independent art house is really exciting too. So I took on both of those positions in the beginning of June. And I mean, it's crazy now that it's August already, and I've been doing it 2 months, but being able to really kind of be in another space of the entertainment industry has been fantastic.
Wow, that's an amazing story. So, can you take us on your journey from how you started to where you are now?
Sure. Well, I started as a teeny tiny little kid at 4 years old who wanted to be an actress, rock star, model, fashion designer, who always sang TV theme songs and annoyed the bejesus out of everybody. Um, but I wasn't really encouraged by my parents so much, especially my mom, to go in that direction. I think she very much valued education and making sure she would always say to me, once you get your degrees, you can do what you want, which is essentially what I did. So I was very, very involved in my youth group in high school. It was called BBYO. And there, it wasn't so much it was a leadership and social action for the most part, organization for teens. But that's where, like, I guess, when you talk about like where you got like when your heart fills up with something, like that's where I had the opportunity to be a public speaker, learn how to plan events, learn the basics of all the skills that would take me to where I am right now. So I got through high school, was really, really involved in my youth group, went to college, was really, really involved in my college. My career path was going to be as a lawyer, but
Wow.
I took my LSATs and decided that's not what I wanted to do. But as somebody who was really, really involved in my college, I was in my sorority. I was my student government president for 2 years on every different kind of committee I could be on. I decided to get my master's degree in college student personnel, which meant that I would be working on a college campus. The degree itself was half, practical and half learning about about sociology and psychology. And so that was really great. I moved to Atlanta in 1998, ended up, be like working for my youth group that I started off in. So I did about 10 years in the social service industry, or the social nonprofit sector here in Atlanta, working for the, mostly Jewish nonprofits. I worked for the Marcus Jewish Community Center, Jewish Federation of Greater Atlanta, Hillels of Georgia, all basically the same type of thing: marketing, fundraising, working with volunteers, um, but just different demographics. Here's where the fun part comes. 2007, I had been taking improv classes at Relapse Theater. I had a disastrous just boss at one of my positions, and like when they make the change for you and you're able to kind of be free of like the toxic environment.
Mhm.
So like being free of the toxic environment that I was in, I was able to really, find more of the Atlanta creative community. And I, got more into, learning how to book shows and producing and everything like that. And from there, from Relapse, I, was able to work on short films. I met a bunch of different type of like visual artists. I started producing live events that are really kind of the basis of where I am right now, with where I am in my career. So, it's all about, for me, I guess, being able to step on stage in an area like Relapse really was, kind of brought me to being able to find really what I love, and that's combining entertainment and philanthropy and connecting people. And that's really, as an artist, going back to that 4-year-old little girl who wanted to be an actress. Okay, actress, I'm more of a cheerleader when I host events and I'm on stage. I love just bringing up the next performer or hosting panels. Cannot sing at all. You don't want me to do that. I probably have 2 left feet when I dance, except when I do perform burlesque, I'm more of a performance artist. So I'm able to really be in a sweet spot right now where, with Stage 32, I have a platform to help and connect a global community of people, and also be able to, within my own life, be able to produce events and making them very immersive, bringing all different kinds of people together under different themes and different topics and all that different kinds of stuff.
Wow, that's an amazing journey. So you kind of hit on my next question, which was, did your parents recognize your love of the arts? And if so, how did they nourish that? My parents, they were both educators, but I don't know. Did you want to share a little bit more about that?
Sure. I think that, they totally recognized it. Like there was no way they couldn't. I was telling people I was going to be the next Annie on Broadway. Not going to happen. I was convincing this is like Shellie in her own little dream world, convincing myself that I was going to be like going to the School of Arts in New York and be a part of fame, like that was like where my little like head went about where I daydreamed about the stuff I wanted to do. But especially my mom has always been so encouraging of me of wanting to do the things I'm doing, especially now. Like I think for her, it was just, the security of getting my education. I got through Damon College and I got a BA in history, went to the University of Buffalo, got my EDM. And then when I was in Atlanta, I actually got my MBA here. So, once I had all that stuff, she was very supportive of me doing, improv and pinup. And when I told her I was hosting burlesque shows, she's like, "Oh yeah, that makes total sense." She said she's like, I was teeny tiny. She couldn't get me to not sleep in my Mary Janes. Like I was wearing like my patent leather Mary Jane shoes to sleep. So she's like, "Of course you're hosting burlesque shows." But both my mom and dad just wanted to make sure that I was able to take care of myself and have those skills to be, and those life skills to be able to, be financially sufficient where, not struggling. But once, I hit that spot, they're always asking me about my shows and what I'm doing next and everything. So they are very supportive. And I credit them too because I think my mom pushed me to be able to think differently, like because of the skills I got along the way, I really found my love for producing.
Wow. That's so cool. I started when I was little too. I
Yeah.
probably about 4. I shared this, I believe, with the last person I interviewed that I thought I was on TV. Like I did. Like I thought there were cameras around and it would like thinking back on it, I'm like, wow, like I thought I was on a reality show before reality shows were a thing. So,
Uh-huh.
yes.
Yeah. That's so fun. I love it.
So we're going to take a break, but we'll be right back.
Damn, dude, you really didn't tell anyone you were leaving LA.
I know, man. Man, I was really just going through a lot those last few months.
No, I feel you. LA's a tough city.
It's no joke. You go out there with such high hopes and dreams, and then,
Reality hits.
right. Honestly, man, I just want to start new. Like a clean slate. Forget about all that drama in the past, you know?
Yo, are you still there?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here.
So, starting new. Hey, what does that mean?
I think it's time to chase my dreams.
Welcome back to Conversations with Atlanta's Movers and Shakers. I am your host, Mandisa Johnson. Today we are having a conversation with Shellie Schmals. So, can you talk to us about the Atlanta Jewish Film Festival?
Sure. I mean, it's one of the largest Jewish film festivals in the world. It's been around, over 20 years, and my time when I was there was really amazing. I had a great opportunity to both work with the community, our of volunteers that made up our evaluation committee, but our selection committee for the films, and it was an amazing cross section of the community. We had, annually, I probably worked with about 200 volunteers. And I had the opportunity, and this is what I'm proud of the most, is working with our filmmakers. And I was really able to see filmmakers through a submission process to being screened and then getting distribution. So that was very, very thrilling for me. And, still have a lot of love for AJFF. And yeah, I know that there are, working on the programs for 2023. I don't really, it's been a couple months since I've been there, so I don't really have too much contemporary stuff to talk about. But I do keep in touch with a lot of the distributors I've worked with, and I know that be able to connect with them through, and some filmmakers too, through Stage 32.
Okay, that's right. So, what exactly does your job consist of with Stage 32, your newest endeavor?
So I'm really taking this 1 million person community that we have at Stage 32 and adding some structure to it and making sure that, like our hope is that, we are able to connect with every single member that is posting in our lounges. What's really amazing about Stage 32 is you have the ability to create your digital legacy. And within that digital legacy, on a Stage 32 profile, you can list all of your, you can list all the links to projects that you're working on. It has a seamless way that you can embed with your IMDb. You can list log lines if you're a filmmaker, of log lines that you have for people to search, because at any point in time, there's 200,000 people who are online with Stage 32 looking through the lounges and talking and having professional conversations. And so I'm adding some structure now where we have greeters who, are welcoming people. We have lounge moderators who are making sure that our conversations are staying on point, and people are hearing what they need. I'll be working on our thought leaders and brand ambassadors too, and eventually working on our partnerships. So we already have great partnerships with AFM and CAN. This past year, Stage 32 was the educational partner of the Cannes Film Festival, which is amazing. And so for me, it just, like I call it, like my Care Bear call or whatever, when the Care Bear heart is full, their superpower. For me, I've always loved being a connector. And so I'm so excited to be a part of an entertainment industry, company that really cares about its members and is so positive all the time. Arby Botto, who is the, Richard Botto, who is the CEO and founder of Stage 32. If you go to his Instagram, Arby walks into a bar. He's always talking about just the positivity of the entertainment industry, that Stage 32 exists to democratize how people can interface with people, with other professionals, that you don't have to go, film school is amazing, but film school isn't for everybody. So Stage 32 has all the tools and over 2,000 hours of webinars and series and classes that people can take and essentially get a film school education from professionals who are working in the field. And we have a whole lounge that's dedicated to our Stage 32 success stories. We have partnerships with Holly Shorts and other film festivals around around the globe, and so it's really an exciting place to be.
Yeah, I like that now kids don't necessarily have to go to school because you have platforms like Stage 32, you have YouTube, stuff on YouTube, you can get real world on set experience. So I like that, and that's amazing what you do at Stage 32. You're a woman of many hats. So can you what'd you say? I'm sorry.
I like wearing hats too.
So can you talk to us about what you do with Women in Film and Television Atlanta?
Sure. So as Vice President of Programming for WIFTA, I, have the honor really of helping to elevate women in the film industry and television industry. So for our membership, we have panels all throughout the year that we collaboratively work on with like Cinema Life Collective and Dragon Con. We're doing something with the DeKalb, um, oh, the DeKalb Entertainment. Um,
Com-
their their commission, yeah, words. It's Wednesday, words. With the DeKalb Entertainment Commission to to present panels. And so what I do is I go to our membership and really place our members to help share their knowledge and information. But also, I will be starting up again and doing programming. So starting in September, I'll have programming meetings. We kind of, I think like everybody, we kind of took a little dip in activity because of the pandemic, but we're slowly building that up again. And so I'll be doing programs that really cater to what our members want. We have a short film showcase that's happening at the end of August, which is, we'll have a panel discussion, we'll have a mixer, we'll be reading 2 different screenplays, and then we'll be doing a short film showcase of about 90 minutes of programming that was curated by our WIFTA board. So that's really, I'm very proud of the work that WIFTA does and being able to connect women here in Georgia to new opportunities.
So how can someone join WIFTA?
The easiest thing to do is go to wifta.org.
Okay. Okay. So another thing that you do, one of the another hat that you wear is you work with the Georgia Production Partnership. So can you share with that and share how people can, join as well?
Sure. So the Georgia Production Partnership, for that, you just go to Georgia Production partnership.org, and that will take you right to our website. But my role as membership chair is really to get people excited about becoming members of GPP, and also some of the education that GPP exists to keep our tax credits alive. Like, we employ lobbyists. Our lobbyists are the best. They are constantly in touch with our government officials, making sure that we have, the best representation possible and people voting in our favor. We also exist to educate and have networking opportunities, but primarily the importance of keeping, our lobbying going is really what GPP is here for. So, getting our membership to, to network with each other as well is, we span everything from behind the camera to in front of the camera, from crafties to accounting to venues and studios and post-production.
Okay. Thank you. So we are going to take another break, but we'll be right back. Welcome back to Conversations with Atlanta's Movers and Shakers. I am your host, Mandisa Johnson. Today we are having a conversation with Shellie Schmals. So, how did you get involved in the nonprofit sector, and what would be a piece of advice for somebody wanting to get into the nonprofit sector?
So it was really my love for people that that brought me to the nonprofit sector. I think that that's always kind of been, one of the traits that I have had. I'm very empathetic. I love working with people. I'm very energized by being part of a group. And that's how come I always kind of gravitated towards working with organizations. So to people who are, I guess there's the two different paths. If you're interested in working in it for a nonprofit, or if you want to volunteer for a nonprofit, kind of go hand in hand together, because if you don't have any nonprofit experience but you want to work for a nonprofit, the best way to get that experience is volunteer. So I would, my suggestion to people would be, know what path you're looking to take, your end goal is, and what you can do is, um, I would write a list of, everything that you're good in and your skills and all the different things that you enjoy. And from there, find like whatever that those nuggets are, look for a nonprofit that kind of speaks to that for you. So that would be my suggestion.
Thank you. So, the fun part. So, talk to us about the variety and art shows you produce with the Roxy Roz Burlesque Collective.
Oh, that's so fun. So we actually retired Roxy Roz in December,
Okay.
but I'm still very active in the burlesque community, and also in the dance community. So with everything burlesque, and I still do produce one show that I did. It'll be an annual show. It's called Middle Age Cabaret, Older and Bolder Burlesque. But I got into burlesque, and I guess I'll just kind of start with an overview
Okay.
about that, because for me it hit all the points that I love so much. It hit like the aesthetic, because I love dressing up and glitter and getting makeup and hair done, and the costuming. But it also hit, for starting off as an MC, I was able to use all of my improv training in being an MC for burlesque. And being a female MC for burlesque, at the time when I started, there really wasn't many around. Now our Atlanta community has so many wonderful burlesque MCs that are not, that are of all genders, and it's amazing. And our burlesque community as a whole is extremely creative. We have everything from regular kind of classical burlesque to circus arts burlesque to nerdlesque to somebody just had a cowboy show. Flux and Queerier had a cowboy theme a few years ago, or a month ago. And there's karaoke burlesque that the Candy Box Review does over at Metropolitan Studios. My co-producer for Roxy Roz is part of Wussy Magazine, and they have a drag burlesque show once a quarter over at City Winery. And what's so beautiful about the burlesque community is that it is so all-encompassing. It does bring so many people together from every different, like all different body sizes, and it's so body positive. It's for people who, just love the arts. There's a lot of, it's very inclusive and diverse. We have, a lot of BIPOC producers who are specifically really elevating performers of diversity in shows, and doing shows, all Black shows or all Indigenous shows, all queer shows. So that's wonderful, and I'm just happy to be a part of an artist community that is so loving, and everybody is so creative and non-judgmental.
That's so cool. We've never gone to a burlesque show, but
Oh, you'll have to go.
yes, maybe the next one that you do. So, if I could travel back in time and speak to 18-year-old Shellie and tell her all about the wonderful things she would become, what would you least likely believe to be true?
Oh goodness. 18-year-old Shellie was a freshman in college who was going to be a lawyer. So I don't think at all I would see myself being like on stage the way that I am. I think I would, like, I think I could see myself still being like the joiner and everything, like, because I was, like I said, I was always an org kid. I don't think 18-year-old Shellie would be able to see, almost 48-year-old Shellie, on stage, in burlesque shows, either as a performer or as an MC. I don't think that I would have known that I would have moved to Atlanta I think that would have surprised me. Just being, my whole family lives in Buffalo, New York, and so I'm still like the lone kid that flew out of the coop. But I think 18-year-old me would like almost 48-year-old me. I think we would get along.
Yeah, I think so too. So, do you have a piece of advice for someone coming right out of high school that would like to pursue a career in the arts?
Definitely. I think pursue everything. I think if you have an interest in something, go for it. You don't talk, don't let imposter syndrome or, anyone talk you out of just try. Try as much as possible. And if you find something you like, stick with it. If you find something that you don't like, you don't have to do what you don't want to do. Like that's a huge thing too. Like it's okay to start something and not want to do it. Just find but have the stick to itiveness to find something that you do like and explore. I think that's very important. And I think that just to be available and say yes to new opportunities and say yes to things that you might not, you might not see yourself doing, but stretch yourself a little bit. Obviously safety of course, but take just different opportunities and be as creative as you want to.
Thank you for sharing that. That's a really great piece of advice. So, do you have any gems that you would like to share um, with us?
I think so. I have a couple. So I have a bracelet that I wear almost every day when I actually leave the house that says to be great is to be misunderstood. And that's, I think, a Thoreau quote. And I just think to me that just kind of spoke to me like, you like not everybody understands who you like. For me, not everybody may understand me, so but I don't need them to understand me to be the individual that I am and to be great. And so that's, I think to me that's kind of my self-confidence, kind of like I look at my arm, I'm like, oh yeah, my bracelet tells me I'm okay. And then the other, it's such an old school quote, but it's Vanilla Ice, that in Ice Ice Baby there's this one little line where he says anything less than the best is a felony. And I always think about that too, because it's true. It's like, like it's in life, in your career, in love, in the arts. If it's not the best for you, it's not for you. It's a crime. Don't do it. It's felony. So thank you, Vanilla Ice, for helping me keep it keep it together all these years.
Wow, I mean, I've heard that, but I never thought about that. And it's true, that's true. So, how can people connect with you?
Sure. I think the easiest way to connect with me is through Instagram. You can just find me at Von Schmals, VonSchmals. But you can also find me at Twitter at Shellie Schmals. I'm on Facebook. Anybody want to collab or work with me on anything, you can find me at shellyschmals@gmail.com. So yeah, that's probably the best way to, Instagram also links directly to my emails. So,
Hey, thank you so much. And
so much fun. Thank you for having me today.
you're welcome. And thank you for joining us. And if you or anyone you know is an Atlanta mover and shaker in the film and TV community, be sure to go to our website at atlantafilmandtv.com and fill out our potential mover and shaker application.